Welcome to the Binge List, fellow TV and film fanatics. I'm Greg, and I make recommendations for TV shows and movies you can access from the comfort of your own home. And who doesn't like to laugh? So I'm going to talk about some comedy movie options that you can check out on Netflix for your next movie night. And I'm going to talk about a variety of options too, from Netflix originals to dark comedy, action comedy, rom-coms, even a hilarious animated option and a personal favorite of mine. So as always, stop mindlessly scrolling, stop wasting your time. Let's jump in and check it out.
My name is Gary Johnson, and my simple question for you is, who is your hitman?
So the first title on our list today is the new Netflix original Hitman. This is a comedic crime film with a surprising romantic twist. The story centers around Gary, played by Glenn Powell, who is this awkward college professor who moonlights as a pretend hitman for the police. He meets with wannabe criminals looking for an assassin as part of this sting operation, using his acting skills and theatricality to solicit confessions. However, Gary's life takes an unexpected turn when a beautiful woman named Rita walks into his life. She offers him a hefty sum of money to eliminate her abusive husband, but despite his job, Gary is unable to resist Rita's charms and convinces her to go a different way, which leads him down a path where he finds himself romantically entangled with her and a real-world assassination. One thing that I really liked about this one is it's actually a pretty fresh take on this hitman genre. I went into it thinking it was something totally different, but it's just a good blend of humor, action, and some intense romantic scenes within this hitman genre. The humor hits in this one in a lot of different ways. You get slapstick humor, satire, to witty dialogue, as well as some super interesting and very unique situations that the characters get put into. And Glenn Powell is quickly moving up my list of top actors lately. He is in so many good movies, and this is another strong performance from him. And Powell and Adria Arjona have absolutely amazing chemistry together throughout this film, from the steamier moments that they're together to just their overall charm and comedic timing. And this movie does not drag its feet. It stays pretty fast-paced and entertaining all the way through, offering a good balance of the action, the witty dialogue, the unexpected twists that certainly keep you engaged. So Hitman, it's a lighthearted film with some entertaining twists that can feel a bit cliched at moments, but the strong performances, blend of action, comedy, and romance make it totally worth a watch. Next on our list is one of my personal favorite comedy films, and this is the cult classic Pineapple Express. And this is an action comedy film that follows Dale, played by Seth Rogen, after he accidentally drops a roach at a scene of a crime that he witnessed. Dale goes on the run with his mindless drug dealer Saul, played by James Franco, to avoid corrupt cops, the government, and a hitman. And this turns into this over-the-top adventure that blends humor, action sequences, and buddy comedy tropes on this fast-paced and hilarious ride. The group of actors in this film are great, but the standout for me in this film is actually the writing. It really is this hilarious script with some of the most ridiculous things that are ever said, with tons of witty dialogue, absurd situations, and to top it all off, the comedic chemistry between this entire cast is on point within this script. The movie has a fair bit of action sequences for what it is, but certainly with its own unique twists, with the stoner leads making even some of the most simple things like driving a car or sneaking around a hilarious and entertaining sequence. As a disclaimer, I do realize that not everybody enjoys this type of humor. If so, I totally understand this one might not be for you, but if you do enjoy this type of humor, I definitely think it's worth a watch, because Pineapple Express was a commercial success, grossing over $100 million worldwide, and became a cult classic, jam-packed full of hilarious dialogue, ridiculous situations, quotable lines, memorable characters, and tons of strong comedic performances.
Hey, Sale, let me in.
Come on up.
I witnessed a murder.
What? They saw you? Did they follow you here?
Let's get out of here. Get the snacks, food, fruit roll-ups.
So let's talk about one of the more unique combos on this list, and this is the comedic western from the mind of the man who brought us Family Guy. This is A Million Ways to Die in the West, which is co-written, directed, and starred in by Seth MacFarlane, who plays Albert, who is this cowardly sheep farmer struggling to overcome his fear of really everything trying to kill him in this rough frontier town. His confidence is further shaken in this film when his girlfriend leaves him for another man, and with the help of a reluctant gunslinger with a mysterious past, Albert must now overcome his cowardice and learn to fight for himself and the woman he loves. I want to start this one off by saying you're probably not going into this one for the plot. It is there, but it's really just there to carry you from joke to joke. So very much a shut your brain down and laugh type of film. with Seth MacFarlane's unflinching brand of humor painted all over this one, where even the most bland and boring situations get slapstick humor, pop culture references, crude jokes, callbacks, witty dialogue that is all jam-packed into them. And this film does have an incredible cast as well. You have Liam Neeson, Amanda Seyfried, Giovanni Ribisi, Neil Patrick Harris, and Sarah Silverman really adding to the overall quality of the humor in the film, and they all bring their own humorous styles to the screen. And then the leads Charlize Theron and Seth MacFarlane provide a compelling and enjoyable duo amidst the overly ridiculous nature of the film. And something that stands out is this is a comedic take on a Western genre, which offered the writers what felt like truly fresh material to pick from, and it's just this overall unique genre mashup. So this film is Seth MacFarlane making his directorial debut for live action films that has become another box office success for him, grossing over $230 million worldwide. That offers you tons of humor, a top-notch cast, a unique genre mashup filled with unexpected comedic moments, well worth checking out.
Out here that's not you wants to kill you. Angry drunk people, hungry animals, outlaws. Oh, the fucking doctor.
I couldn't save her.
She had a splinter. Doc, what the hell were you supposed to do?
Now, I know some of you are seeing the images on the screen and the title and think that it is ridiculous to include an animated Lego-themed movie on a list about comedies, but hear me out, because this is one of, if not my favorite movie to watch anywhere, anytime, and this is the Lego Batman movie. If you are a fan of superheroes, superhero fandom, Batman, DC, Marvel, it does not matter. I promise this movie will not disappoint. This is a hilarious animated superhero comedy film that follows the ever self-important Batman, voiced by Will Arnett, as he protects Gotham City from a colorful cast of villains, including the Joker. However, in this one, Batman's world is turned upside down when he no longer has anyone to fight. This film might just be a bunch of blocks moved around, but it is really visually impressive. It's very colorful, lively, and it feels fun. And even more so knowing that they utilize the stop motion animation style that brings the Lego world to life in this charming and creative way. But on top of that, it is absolutely hilarious. I find myself laughing out loud with this film every single time I watch it. And I have a 5 and a 2-year-old that love superheroes, so it does get turned on more than you think. So it incorporates clever humor that appeals to both children and adults, pop culture references, and is very self-aware with its jokes about the superhero genre. And on top of that, it's another incredible cast voicing these iconic characters. Again, Will Arnett is Batman, but you get Michael Cera, Rosario Dawson, Zach Galifianakis, Ralph Fiennes, Jenny Slate, Conan O'Brien, Jason Mantzoukas, Zoe Kravitz, Seth Green, Eddie Izzard, and there are actually so many others. So the voice acting and the acting overall is just top-notch. This movie is a standout on this list for me and is my second favorite Batman film of any Batman film. It is a hilarious animated film that offers a unique take on this Batman mythos with clever jokes, a self-aware charm that makes it fun and entertaining watch for any audience of any age.
Master Bruce, your greatest fear is...
Snakes?
No.
Clowns?
No. It's being a part of a family again.
No, now it's snake clowns because you put that idea in my...
So back to the real world with number 5 here on this list, and this is the R-rated comedy film No Hard Feelings. This story centers around Maddie, played by Jennifer Lawrence, who is a down-on-her-luck ride-shared bartender facing financial troubles. When her car gets repossessed, she stumbles upon an unusual opportunity. A wealthy couple is offering a car to anyone who is willing to date their overly shy son Percy, hoping to bring him out of his shell. Maddie, desperate for a vehicle, agrees to this unconventional arrangement. I was honestly super surprised at how funny Jennifer Lawrence's performance was in this. She's quirky in other titles and hits a few jokes in other movies, but this one here, she really shows off another side to herself. She has excellent comedic timing while also portraying Maddie's vulnerability and resilience, and she works so well alongside the super reserved Percy character played by Andrew Barth Feldman, who just adds to the humor with his overall awkwardness. And yes, this is considered a rom-com, but it is presented in such a weird way that it feels very unique. Instead of the normal chance encounter that leads to the silliness and the love, this paid date sends the humor down a totally different path. While very funny with tons of laugh out loud moments, it does manage to weave in some heartwarming moments and character development for both of these lead characters. So No Hard Feelings is a raunchy rom-com with a strong central performance by Lawrence that takes full advantage of the R rating, believe me. Definitely worth the hour and 43-minute runtime.
Hi, mind if I touch your wiener?
What?
Your dog.
So for our next title, let's talk about something that's a little bit different with the critically acclaimed comedic whodunit Glass Onion. where we follow the eccentric detective Blanc again, played by Daniel Craig, who returns to solve a new mystery, and this time it's on a luxurious private island in Greece, where tech billionaire Miles Braun, played by Edward Norton, invites his eccentric circle of friends for a weekend getaway. But their vacation takes a deadly turn when one of them ends up being murdered. With a new cast of suspects and a lavish setting, Blanc must untangle the web of secrets and rivalries to uncover the killer. And one thing I really like about this one is that the film retains the first movie's blend of humor, suspense, and the focus on the themes of the wealth, privilege, and the dark side that comes with it. But just like the original Knives Out film, Glass Onion has a top-tier cast: Edward Norton, Kate Hudson, Dave Bautista, Kathryn Hahn, Daniel Craig, and plenty of others. But honestly, the return of Craig as Blanc is really what makes the movie great. Craig cannot turn off his charismatic charm, even while playing this quirky and weird detective character. And this is where the majority of the humor of the film comes from. They leave the raunchy and outrageous stuff for other films and lean really heavily into this quirky humor, with Blanc's witty observations and the eccentric personalities of the suspects providing laughs alongside the murder mystery. And the mystery itself, it's actually fairly clever, offering a complex and twisty plot all the way throughout that keeps you guessing. Glass Onion is a new case for Detective Blanc that is probably more of a snickering type comedy rather than the complete laugh out loud type film, but it comes with an entertaining mystery, strong performances that makes it an enjoyable whodunit experience.
This is not a game.
Will you explain it to us then, Detective?
From smartly written dialogue to action comedies to just the truly outrageous and over the top here, let's talk about Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby. And this is a comedic spoof that takes aim at the world of NASCAR racing and American cultural icons. We follow Will Ferrell, who stars as Ricky Bobby, who is a reckless and arrogant driver who dominates the racing circuit with his signature shake and bake maneuver with his teammate Cal Naughton Jr., played by John C. Reilly. However, after facing off against the French Formula One driver who's come to NASCAR, Jean Girard, Ricky is in a devastating crash that forces him to reevaluate his life, his career, with the help of his estranged father. This film pokes fun all over the place at over-the-top personalities from NASCAR, corporate sponsorships, and just the larger-than-life nature of this sport. So if you're any way familiar with NASCAR, there's plenty to laugh at throughout this film. And some have commented on other videos that they don't really enjoy Will Ferrell for whatever reason, but I find his portrayal in this film as the clueless and self-absorbed Ricky Bobby to be just truly hilarious. Along with many of the other over-the-top characters in the film, like Sacha Baron Cohen, John C. Reilly, Michael Clark Duncan, and Leslie Bibb, just some of the most ridiculous and over-the-top characters you can see in a movie. Plus, like many of the other films with Will Ferrell in them, like Ron Burgundy or Step Brothers, Talladega Nights is packed full of quotable lines, absurd situations, and clever jokes that lampoon NASCAR culture. And I mentioned this in another video, but I was watching reels one day and watched a reel with real race car drivers from NASCAR who comment about how this film is far more accurate than people give it credit. So Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby offers a satirical look at NASCAR with over-the-top stereotypical characters and a little bit of a thin plot that might not appeal to everyone. But if you like quotable lines, strong comedic performances, or Ferrell's signature acting style, this one has a cult fan base that you can jump into. It's definitely worth checking out to see for yourself.
Ricky Bobby was born
Mama, I'm going fast!
to become the fastest man alive.
That's my boy, Ricky!
Next on the list is another Netflix original, and this is The Wrong Missy from 2020. And this film follows the awkward misadventures of Tim, played by David Spade, as he attempts to impress a new love interest named Melissa, played by Molly Sims, by inviting her on a work retreat to Hawaii. However, in this hilarious case of mistaken identity, he accidentally texts the wrong Missy, who is this loud, outrageous woman named Missy, played by Lauren Lapkus, who he had a disastrous blind date with months ago. Tim is now stuck on a tropical getaway with the wrong Missy, leading to a series of chaotic situations and unexpected connections. Now, this film relies on slapstick humor, awkward encounters, and this clash between Tim's uptight personality and Missy's outlandish nature, which works super well because both Spade and Lapkus have great chemistry with each other and comedic timing, as well as this myriad of faces from the Happy Madison crew. But Lauren Lapkus' performance as the wrong Missy is hilarious and honestly scene-stealing a lot of the time. Her character is this perfect person to pair with this somewhat serious and timid Tim. And this movie is just some lighthearted, unrealistic fun that offers an entertaining escape with its silly humor, and the jokes and the humorous situations are consistent throughout the film and provide numerous laugh out loud moments. So go into this movie knowing what it is, a lighthearted comedy that will appeal to you if you're just looking for some laughs, with hilarious performances, awkward situations, identity scenarios, offering tons of entertainment value. Worth checking out.
I may have gone a little overboard in bragging about you.
You're obsessed with me. We're either gonna end up married or I'm gonna end up dead in a ravine somewhere.
What?
I'm down for either.
So number 9 on our list, you're going to have to check out pretty quickly if you're interested in this one or it does interest you at all, because it is leaving Netflix in the near future. But this number 9 is the raunchy comedy with a unique lead duo in Dirty Grandpa, where we meet a straight-laced young lawyer named Jason, played by Zac Efron, who takes his recently widowed grandfather, Dick, played by Robert De Niro, to Florida for spring break. Dick, determined to relive his wild youth, drags Jason on a series of outrageous escapades, shocking his uptight grandson with his crude behavior and relentless pursuit of a younger woman. As their journey unfolds, Jason grapples with his strict future plans and the unexpected bond that he develops with his free-spirited grandpa. So De Niro and Efron might not be the pair that you thought you needed in your life in a comedy film, but they are actually phenomenal together. They have this incredible amount of chemistry, making the relationship feel very real in the film. Plus, these two are just incredible actors who have excellent comedic timing in this great dynamic, portraying characters on opposite ends of the maturity spectrum. Plus some great actors and actresses in the supporting roles in this one. You have Zoe Deutsch, Aubrey Plaza, Jason Mantzoukas, Adam Pally, and many others to help elevate this film. And this is another R-rated title on this list where they take full advantage with tons of unfiltered humor, jokes, and just outrageous situations you're gonna want to check out. And despite all of that, this movie does offer the occasional heartwarming moments between these family members. Dirty Grandpa is a fun ride, tons of laughs with a great cast that explores this extremely unique family dynamic. Definitely worth checking out.
Grandpa,
You ready to hit the road?
I thought the plan was to have breakfast here.
That's your breakfast. Now let's get in that giant labia you drove up in and get the fuck out of here.
On to number 10 on the list, and this is the film It's Kind of a Funny Story. This is a coming-of-age comedy drama film that follows Craig, who is this high school senior who is overwhelmed by academic pressure, college applications, and just typical high school student anxiety. Feeling burnt out and on the verge of a breakdown, Craig ends up checking himself into a psychiatric ward and is surrounded by a quirky cast of adult patients. Now Craig must navigate life in this adult ward while grappling with his own anxieties and exploring potential new beginnings. This film definitely has plenty of humor in it, but it does not shy away from some of the fairly dark topics throughout, and the movie finds a good balance between these two with some quality humor and the more serious themes, keeping you engaged in multiple ways. But this is another movie where the strong performances make it great. The entire cast delivers believable performances, with Keir Gilchrist as this relatable protagonist Craig, but Zach Galifianakis is amazing. He's super funny with quick-witted jokes, weird interactions, and honestly the timing of his facial expressions. And I know that's a weird call out, but something that I think he's great with in every movie, and it's not always what he says, but it's his facial expressions and how he reacts to what other people say. And on top of his great comedy, he actually does a really great job in the more emotional and dramatic moments as well. So definitely a highlight in this film. And with this being a little bit lesser known film, it actually has a surprisingly strong cast too. Emma Roberts, Jim Gaffigan, Asif Manvi, Lauren Graham, Zoe Kravitz, Thomas Mann, and Viola Davis are all in this film. It's Kind of a Funny Story is definitely a different option than a majority of the others on this list, but has plenty of humor if you're looking for that, great performances, and a ton to keep you entertained for the hour and 40-minute runtime. A solid option to check out for a movie night.
In this summer school application.
Why would you want to be in school in the summer? You should be on Coney Island bird dogging chicks.
Are you a doctor?
Last but certainly not least on this list is the film Set It Up. This is a fun and kind of unique rom-com film that is set in the fast-paced world of New York City. Harper, played by Zoe Deutsch, and Charlie, played by Glenn Powell, are overworked and underappreciated assistants to ruthless boss, played by Lucy Liu and Taye Diggs. They are exhausted from their demanding jobs, and they've discovered a way to lighten their load. They hatch a plan to set up their bosses, hoping a successful romance will lead to a more relaxed work environment for themselves. However, as they push their bosses together, who would have guessed their feelings for each other start to develop, creating a hilarious and unexpected complications in their plan. The two leads in this film are both great actors and work extremely well together in this film. They have tons of charisma and chemistry as the two witty and relatable characters. And this is a rom-com, so it's very much lighthearted humor opposed to some of the absurd and ridiculous comedies on this list. But it is a fun journey like most rom-coms that does offer a unique take on the romantic comedy genre by focusing on the setup mission opposed to the typical love story, which infuses some buddy cop humor into it, which I really enjoy. And this film is pretty fast-paced as well throughout and doesn't linger on any one thing before moving on to the next situation. From quick-witted dialogue, intricate scheming going on, and engaging plot that keeps you entertained. So if you're looking for a world-class romance or an over-the-top hilarious option, this is probably not the one for you. This is more of a good in-the-middle mix that provides laughs, heartwarming moments, and a duo that's fun to root for throughout. Worth a watch for a quality movie night on Netflix.
Who's still doing here?
I'm always the last one here.
I'm always the last one here.
The two of them are always in this office. Let's just lock them in a room together so they can have sex with each other. When they're boning, we're free.
And that's going to do it for our list today, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me. And I know every YouTuber says this, but click the stuff down below, subscribe or like the video, share it. It does help us get our recommendations out to others looking for good shows and movies that they can watch from their home. But again, thanks again. We'll see you in the next one.